everybody, and welcome to the next episode of Madeleine Interviews Artists. I am here with an incredible up and coming female artist called Sapphire. So, for anyone who doesn't know who Sapphire is, how would you introduce yourself? How would you describe your sound, your influences? What can we expect from your music?
Oh my goodness. I feel like that's always an ever-changing question. I don't know. I kind of want to just be like a comfort musician. You know, when you just like go to artist albums because they're comforting and like you either need just like a big warm hug or like a cry or something. I'd love to be that artist. So I'm just gonna explain myself as that. But like my influences throughout my music, I mean, I kind of grew up listening to Madonna, which is so rogue and doesn't really show in my music now at all. But her, but then like Joni Mitchell, Carole King, people like that. But then more recently, like Gracie Abrams, Role Model, Lizzie McAlpine, like all of those artists. So I love myself an acoustic guitar. So yeah, that's pretty about it.
Yeah, because your music, it's so interesting. It's a real blend of like, as you say, sort of really comforting pop, but then almost a bit sort of indie storytelling, very sort of lyrical, because all of your songs, they do tell a story. You're not one of those artists that just sort of like picks a phrase and then it's like a club song to a phrase. There is like a real through story there. So I can totally see the Joni Mitchell
Thank
influence
you.
there. I really, really want to talk about your newest single, This Is the End. So talk to me about the whole journey with that. How did that come about and how did you get it into recording stages?
Wow. So yeah, that's a song that I actually wrote in 2023, I think. It was quite a
Oh,
while ago.
wow.
Yeah, a real like hot minute. It never actually got planned to be released at the time. It was just gonna kind of sit in a vault until I don't know when. I think purely because at the time I was kind of going through a shift of where I wanted my music to take me. And I was in the process of making my debut album, which was Lucky Star, which was very dancey and it didn't fit in that realm like at all. So I kind of just left it. I kind of left it alone. And but then after I did the album, there are a lot of things that I was kind of like working with and were going for me and against me at the time. So I kind of wanted to rethink what really felt true to who I am and what I wanted to create as an artist. I knew that I had This Is the End and kind of in a vault somewhere. So decided to complete it in kind of November, December of last year. I took it back to the studio. We kind of reworked it and then I released it and we did like a music video that completely aligns with the words and the lyrics, which was so much fun to do. Yeah, it just felt like the start of like a new era of my music, which felt really special to me. I'm really excited to play that one live too. It feels like it's quite a painful song. I wrote it about nothing in particular. Actually, it's one of the only songs where I cannot connect to it lyrically at all. But seeing other people connect to it in their own way and interpret it their own way has been really, really special. So
Oh, that's beautiful. Almost like you're a bit of a vessel for that story to come
yeah,
out and then people can
hopefully.
experience it through you. So what was the whole recording process like? What's your role in the studio and how do you find working in a studio?
Oh my God, I it's so funny because sometimes I love it and sometimes I completely despise it. I think because you're kind of just like stuck in like a little box, you know? I do this for the shows and like the performing. So I find studio days so long and tiring. But I'm really lucky that the people I work with I love and we all get on and we have a great time. So that song in particular, I actually wrote kind of part of it at home. And then I took it to the studio and we were having a really tough day at that time. We had tried a few ideas, nothing was coming. And I was like, oh my God, I had this idea the other night. So let's give it a go. Then it just built from there. It was actually half the song until last November. So we didn't actually complete it until we decided to go forward with it. But I absolutely loved creating that song. I think it was such a special one to work on and it felt really true to me. And the people I was working with on that song were wonderful to work with. And yeah, it was really cool. But yeah, studios feel really boxy to me. I'm always very like, put me on a stage and give me a mic and I'm ready to go. But when I'm in, one of like the things that the shields that go around you and you're kind of like with the mic in there with your headphones on, it's so like claustrophobic and I have claustrophobia, so it's a bit intense for me. But yeah, but it was fun. I do enjoy it. So
That's so interesting that sometimes the studio time is the struggle time because you'd almost think, oh, you're in like a creative space, like you can be free, but is there sort of maybe some pressures that you feel are on you then when you're in that space?
yeah, I think I think that's probably the right word for it, actually, because I feel like I've been doing this for a very long time. I started when I was about 7. At the time, when you go into a studio and you're working with men that are like so much older than you, you're kind of seen as like this little girl that doesn't know anything and like, oh, that's a good idea, sweetie. And it feels like every idea you have is kind of shut down. So I think I kind of grew with the idea that every idea I had in a room like that was gonna get rejected. So my comfort space for creativity was always at home in my room instead of in a studio with other people. And I think that still carries with me now, and I'm trying to let that go as much as possible, especially as now I like write for others too. I've realized that I need to sing into the room. I'm very much a mentally sings it and then will perfect it in my brain and then tell everyone the idea. But yeah, it is always a feeling of pressure for me when I'm in the room unless I'm completely comfortable with someone, which takes a while to do. So
I'm really, really sorry that you've experienced that. And unfortunately, in a lot of these interviews that I've done, that seems to be a bit of a common experience with a lot
yeah,
of women, just sort of feeling, as you said, those words shut down by men in the studio who feel like they know what they're doing. And I think because historically the production spaces have always been the male spaces, it
exactly.
always it does sort of feel quite alien as a woman, entering into that field. And I am totally aligned with you there that I prefer writing in my bedroom to
Mhm.
writing in a studio space because
Yeah.
you do just feel that pressure. As someone like you who has a huge discography now and who's been releasing for a long time, would you have any tips for anyone who's maybe feeling that kind of that pressure and that like, oh, I don't want to enter into that room just out of pure fear?
If there's specifically like a person like you're not really feeling like it's going to be a comfortable space for you to work in, you don't need to do the session. Just don't do it. Like I definitely feel like if you don't think that it aligns for you or that you're going to feel uncomfortable in the room because you just don't feel like you're going to gel, that's fine. Let it like just let it slide. But another thing that I always make sure I do is if I go into a new session, I will go in and I will tell people in the room, look, this is how I work. I usually sit in the corner and just need silence just to like mentally prepare an idea, and then I will give it and kind of almost present it to you. And I think once I started doing that, people started to understand that I work slightly differently to other people would. I've worked with a lot of songwriters and they're very like vocal and they sing into the room and they're humming into the room and just saying whatever comes to mind. And I don't do that. So then automatically, whoever's having the ideas is basically writing the entire song. So you have to like be able to speak your voice and be able to be like, that doesn't mean I'm not, I don't love that. I like this, but you need to be able to feel that freedom. And I feel like if you go into the room telling people just, I just need a little bit of time, give me a little time to settle in, then everyone's on the same page. And you do get a lot of people kind of understanding that and completely allowing for that. And yeah, it's a much nicer space when it's like that.
So I guess the key is just communication of your
Yes,
your own working ways and then confidence to
100%.
use your voice and confidence in
Yeah.
your own artistic abilities and not shying away from the fact that you know you're really good.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like as an artist, it is really, really hard to have any confidence in yourself because it is a creative industry and it's art at the end of the day. And if you made like a drawing and then you show or like a piece of painting, oh, you know what I mean? If you show someone that and then they try to critique it or say it's not good or something, you're instantly gonna feel really kind of like, oh no, I don't, oh no. And the more that happens, the more you become self-aware. Yeah, it's really hard to build confidence, but especially in a room with so many people. But yeah, I think those are the two key things.
Well, thank you so much for sharing that. I would love to move on to chatting about Lucky Star.
Oh my
Your-
goodness, yes.
Was that your debut album?
It was, yes.
Wow. Oh my gosh. It's such a journey, that album, because you've got some real like pop anthems and then you like also really, really strip it back. And I feel like we get to sort of hear you as if you were in the room with us.
Oh my God, you've like listened. You've like listened. I love it.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't interview you if I hadn't listened to your music. That would be so
You'd
strange.
be surprised.
But what, do people come and interview you and not having
Oh, 100%. Like, yeah, they half know. And I'm like, okay.
That's really strange. Well, we're not about that on this channel here. We
Thank
are
you.
about authenticity. So, yeah, I literally want to know everything about that album, the whole story behind inception all the way through to the final stages.
That was like the longest and I think the hardest thing I've ever had to like do. It's funny because now I look back and I go, that was so easy. Like, why did I stress so much? But yeah, making an album is underestimated. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone. It's so tough. I think as well, I kind of had it in my head the album was going to get released at a certain time, which was October of last year. I announced the album with only half the songs done, which was terrifying. I started writing it in October of 2023. So it took a year and it literally took, I was kind of like in a bit of a world where I didn't know where I wanted to go with the album. I wasn't sure what it should feel like or sound like. And I kind of wanted to just test something out. And my sister said to me, oh, you should try something that feels a little bit more like this. And then we listened to like this playlist and I was like, oh, that sounds like fun. So went into the studio and had a bit of fun with that. And it clicked and created an entire album kind of wrapped around this feeling of, my sister and I call it Club 2007. So it's like, what would it sound like in a nightclub in 2007? And the entire album was kind of written around that. It was so fun. It was almost like my kind of like brat moment in a way. Like it felt like so experimental, but it was the first time I'd actually expressed myself lyrically in more of a comedic way. My friends that know me, I'm the first person that would say like, that's what she said. And like, that's the kind of humor that I have, but I've never really expressed that. This album was me expressing that, kind of getting that out into the world and also just having fun and finding new ways of creating, new ways of writing. And then at the end, I had like a headline show at the Grace just before release. And I got to perform all the songs, or just after release, maybe. I got to perform everything and take it to live, which was really fun. And it was also really like a learning curve because I released the album and now I sit with it and it feels completely outer bodied for me. Like I feel like I don't know who that person is that created the album now, quite honestly, because I was just experimenting, and that's what artists do. We all experiment, we have fun, and we have to learn, unfortunately, the hard way and the expensive way that something isn't working for us, especially genre wise. And then I just took it back to basics after that. But it was, I think, the best thing I could have done. Yeah, a really fun process. Everything was written off instruments, as in we didn't use any guitars, any pianos to write. We literally wrote everything to beat, which was, yeah, it's really good fun. I love writing to beat. I feel like I can do that quite naturally because I just go off rhythms, and I love like creating melodies that kind of go against the flow of the rhythm of the drums or something. So much fun to do, but very different to what I'm doing now, which is where everything is written on a piano or guitar or something. That was a fun experience. And would I do an album again anytime soon? Probably not. Like stressful, but no, it was really fun and it went down really well. And even now, a couple of the songs just got played on Love Island USA,
Oh wow,
which is really cool. Thank you
congratulations.
so much. Yeah, it was really cool to see kind of like the songs get reborn again, which was really cool. So yeah, I'm really proud of that album. Always hold a little special place for me.
Yeah, you should be. It's such a beautiful, beautiful body of work.
Thank
And
you.
I just want to chat about some of your lyrics because you said, I can't remember exactly the wording you just used there, but sort of comedic and
Yeah.
funny. And that really, really stood out to me when I listened to the album,
Oh,
how
good.
blunt you are. Like,
That makes
it's
me.
it's iconic. Like so many, I think particularly it's a trap that female artists can fall into of being too poetic and you don't
Yes.
get the point across. Like if you're wrapped up in too many metaphors and too many sort of similes and stuff like that, yeah, you don't get the point across. And I love the track You Liar because you're just like, I'm not going to sugarcoat this right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to
That
say
was
it
completely
as
the
it is.
vibe. So I'm glad that got through. Thank
Yeah.
you.
No, it was good. So was that sort of a conscious choice to be very sort of blunt and out there with your lyrics, or is that just kind of how you are as a person?
I actually don't know if that's how I am. Well, actually, I probably am actually. I feel like it's a universal experience for women to feel like you have to like be careful with what you say, especially in music as well. Like you have to kind of people please. Don't go too far, don't say too much, blah blah blah. And yeah, You Lie was actually the first song we wrote for the album. So it felt like kind of like the doors opening to you can do more than you've done before. And yet, I don't think it was a conscious choice to make it, as you said, like the lyrics quite blunt, like, and kind of to the point. I don't think it was a conscious choice. I was just like, oh, you were a liar. Why not me and why her? Like that. I was just like rhyming words and it just made sense to me. And that's where the song kind of came from. But then when I listened back, I was then like, oh, this is pretty damn serious. We're not cutting any corners here. And that just continued throughout the entire album. Because I remember Alex, who I was working with, my producer and co-writer, he was like, wow, you're saying some stuff you'd never say before, but like you say these as jokes to me. And that's the thing, is like I would say things in room that he'd be like, you need to put that in a song. And I'd be like, no, I can't be saying that. And like I've written some of my favorite lyrics in that album. So yeah, that was the Madonna influence singing.
Oh,
Yeah.
lovely. Cool. So what are some of your favorite lyrics throughout the album? Can we get a little
Oh my
snapshot of what you
goodness.
love?
Oh, I want to say that Pretty Boy is like my favorite one. I think it was just like hilarious to me. Like that's just a funny song to me. Right Back as well. If you listen to Right Back, it goes hard. If you really read the words, like my mum should not be hearing that. I feel a bit bad. I think personally, like my favorite one I wrote for that album is gonna be like Dissatisfied or Good Night. Those two were completely me just like opening up my feelings instead of being like, oh my God, this is so fun. The rest of the songs are literally just me talking about, and those two songs felt really meaningful to me. Dissatisfied, I wanted to write because I was feeling really down about things and I needed like an outlet to express that feeling. I'd woken up the morning I created that with my co-writer. I woke up and I had a mirror in front of my bed, and I woke up and I was like, oh my God, I look so bad. That's where the first lyric came from, which was I woke up, couldn't look at myself. I think actually that was the hardest one to play to my parents, weirdly, because there was that kind of weird feeling of, oh my God, I've never really talked about kind of self-esteem or insecurity or anything around my family. It was kind of like a very vulnerable song for me. Good Night was like just an emotional song, and actually I lie, like that is one song that I wrote on piano that we then took to studio actually. But that was another song that like made me cry like a million times, just because I know that it's a true story for me. Those are the ones that always end up resonating, and if you read the lyrics and all that, you'll see what I mean. So,
I also would love to know about your sort of collaboration process when you're writing with other people. Is sort of when you had this idea for this album, was it notes from your notebook or was it kind of sitting down with your collaborators and chatting about all the ideas?
it's actually hilarious. It is neither of those. So when I work with my co-writer Alex Stacey, we work with a lot. Like I work with him a lot. So but he kind of like he'll create the production. I'll just sit with usually my iPad, and I will jot down verse. And I'll be like, I've got a verse. And he'll be like, right, just get the mic, just sing it in. Because I think we've gotten to a point of like trust of like he and I are on the same wavelength at all times. We always are having the same concepts and ideas. And I think that's because we enjoy the same music. We have similar influences when we were younger, things like that. He knows what I want from it, and I know what he is looking for with it as well. I kind of just write and then we just sing into mic and that's it. Like we don't really talk about it. We might talk about it if maybe he didn't understand what a lyric meant. He was, like a question of that, and then we'll talk about it. But most of the time, it's literally just like, it sounds good, go for it. There's other people I work with and stuff where we'll talk about ideas and we'll come up with concepts. I usually find that much harder because I need it to come from an authentic space. So, and when I say an authentic space, it's like whatever comes to my mind first is what feels authentic, compared to like creating a scenario that never existed, or like trying to like claw memories back or something, or taking from someone else's story. I want it to kind of come from like that raw part. But yeah, most of the time it is literally just I've got a verse and then we just sing into it and that's it. But it's a really fun process, and yeah, I think we all enjoy it, which is great.
Oh, that's lovely that you've built up that trust then. So you've obviously been working together for quite a long time now that you can just sort of say, let's go for it and
Yeah,
have
exactly.
no fear.
Yeah, I'm very, very grateful for that.
One thing I also really want to chat about is it's been lovely to talk about your whole creative process, but it's also really important to chat about what it's like to balance life as an artist nowadays, because you want to be true to your songwriting and put out the music that you really want, but you've also got to balance all the music industry fluff around it, like content creation, making sure people are listening to your music, balancing earning money. Do you have any tips for people who are maybe sort of finding that balance hard at the moment? And how do you approach managing all of that?
Yeah, 100%. I think everyone's living like a different life completely. I know loads of people in the industry who, still work a 9 to 5. So then they've got to like fit their studio sessions in on days they've been able to take off or at the weekends or after that time before. Like, you know, that's a completely different thing that I cannot even imagine like how difficult that must be as a creative. That's so tough. Alongside, as you said, like content creation and like getting your name out there, you've got to create and get it out there and promote it and do shows and gigs and things like that. It's really, really tough. I find it difficult enough. You know, it is really, really hard. I've got like two big shows coming up over the next week and a half, and my entire brain is filled with that. But I also have a song coming out on Friday, and I've got to get everything ready for the next release after that, which is in like 6 or 7 weeks. So I've got to get that into the system for distribution. So my brain's doing that, and it's doing artwork for that. But then it's also, how do we promote the song that's coming out on Friday? Like, how do we promote Pestilence? Like, is it through content creation? Is it through PR? Is it radio? Is it blah, blah, blah? And then we're also trying to balance that and then finding outfits for the shows and like the rehearsals for the shows and production for the shows and visualizers, music videos, all of that stuff. And it's like, my brain is about to explode. I swear it's about to go. The biggest thing that has helped me hugely is like having a solid team around you that you can talk to, or just like people around you, even that you can talk to, or that can take the weight off in some way. Maybe asking if someone can help you with something, you know, like all the admin stuff I give to my manager, who does that. You know, and then that takes that away from me, and I don't need to do that. But being able to have people to just lean on is really, really important. People to talk about your feelings with, because it can get really tough and it starts to like hurt you as a person. So then you need to be able to have an outlet for that. My outlet is unfortunately songwriting, so I can't sing it. I think that's a universal feeling as well for musicians and artists and stuff. So yeah, just having a really solid team around you that you can talk to and that can take a bit of the weight off is really, really important. But also not to push yourself too much. Like, don't overload yourself. If you don't have time to do that TikTok today, don't have time. It is what it is. You had to focus on something else. You had to prioritize something else, and that's really important, especially with like self-care days. I feel like I just take my Sundays for granted. I normally try and take Sunday off as my like day off, but always end up doing something work related or like scrolling on my phone for hours on end or something. You know, really enjoy those moments of silence, because that's what energizes you for the rest of the week. Making sure you prioritize self-care is really important too. And also spend some time not listening to music is really, really helpful. We listen to music all the time, and as artists, we are constantly surrounded by like that kind of overstimulation. And even TikTok is music because it's just constant sounds. So just escape that for a bit and just shower without music on, drive without music on, like just do things in silence. And then I feel like that's when my ideas peak. That's why my ideas come to me at night. I'm like, do you know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's just prioritizing yourself over everything else and your well-being, because you end up in burnout, which I've done multiple times. So just yeah.
So yeah, just that idea of organization and then also task prioritization. And if
Yes,
something doesn't need to be done, it, you know, it can wait. If
absolutely.
it's not at the top of the list, then
Yeah,
we can wait for it.
exactly.
Cool. So tell me all about this new single that you've got coming out. I
Yeah.
can't wait to hear it.
Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, this new song is it's called Pessimist. It's out on Friday, the 8th of August. I don't know when this goes out, but it'll be out anyways. But yeah, this was a song again I wrote like a year ago. I wrote it last June, and it's taken this long to get out into the world, which is crazy. But again, this was going to be a song that's kind of put into a vault because of the album, but because I released this at the end, I then ended up releasing this. So it's one of those songs where it sounds basically exactly like the demo, which is so cool. I adore this song with like all my heart, and I really hope that people can relate to it in their own way and interpret it in their own way. Because I feel like it's kind of a universal feeling. It's all about kind of like fearing the worst. Like, I'm unfortunately a bit of a pessimist, so I am constantly thinking that I'm going to get hurt, or something's going to go wrong, or someone's not going to like me, or I'm going to get rejected, things like that. And this song is all about that feeling and that sensation and the emotions that go with that. I hope that people can hear that and be like, oh my God, that's me, you know? But yeah, I'm really excited. Some really exciting things coming out around it as well. So yeah, I'm hoping people love it. I love it. So yeah.
I'm sure people will. I mean, you've got such like even though your all of your songs can be very different, like you know, you do really delve into the pop, like sort of club anthems, and then you strip it back. Even though there is that diversity, there is like a through line, definitely, that is just like your original sound. I don't quite know how to describe it. I tend to like describe sound in like colors, and it's kind of
I
like
love that.
it's like a yellow through line in all of your
That's
songs.
made me so happy. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't know, like, I don't know, I can't really put it into more words than that, but it just is like a, yeah, a through feeling, and it is very comforting, your
Oh,
music. I
thank
would
you.
definitely say that you've hit the nail
I'm
on the head
so
there.
glad.
Great,
Thank
comforting
you.
music. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. And where can everyone find Sapphire on social media and streaming platforms?
Just search Sapphire, I guess. Yeah, just type in my name and hopefully should come up. I think you now have to go onto artists, unfortunately, because Ed Sheeran's released a song called Sapphire, so it's kind of blocks it up. But no, just Sapphire, literally everywhere. And yeah, my music is available on literally everything. And Instagram is where I normally post everything, and TikTok. I also have YouTube, which I kind of neglected, unfortunately, but there will be stuff up there. But yeah, yeah, just
Cool.
Sapphire.
Thank you. So just to round off this wonderful, wonderful interview, do you have a last parting bit of advice to anyone who's looking to get into the music industry, into songwriting, or sort of wanting to become an artist? Would you have, yeah, one piece of advice to give?
Everyone's gonna say it, but like just do it. Like sometimes I have to remind myself that is like no one cares, no one's gonna judge you, no one's watching you. Just do your thing and be yourself. That's what matters. Like don't allow like outside voices to stop you from doing what you want to do, because at the end of the day it's like it's your life and it's your journey. Enjoy it. Take photos of everything and just like enjoy every single moment that you get, because life moves so fast that we forget to enjoy those moments. And yeah, just be you, be authentic, and be just do everything you ever want to do. There's no boundaries, basically.
Oh, well, thank you so much. That's such a beautiful, beautiful ending. Thank you very much for talking to me. And
No, thank
yeah, I hope you
you.
have a wonderful rest of your day. What are you up to?
I'm actually here shopping with my sister and my mom. I've come
Nice.
up I've come here to literally just go shopping with them. I don't need to shop. I should not be shopping, but we just want a little girls' day out, so that's what we're doing. So it'll be fun.
Well, I expect to see a haul then on your YouTube if you're
Yeah,
neglecting your YouTube.
yeah, it's like this is what's in my bag, shopping edition. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, by the way, my new song's coming out, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
At
You're
the
in
end of
love
the
with a
video.
shopaholic, not a pessimist. There you go. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it should be
unfortunately.
like, I'm actually not a pessimist in real life. I buy
Yeah,
all of
I
this.
just buy everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Oh, well, thank you so much. And please enjoy your shopping trip. It sounds like you
Thank
have
you.
earned a well-deserved break.
Thank you. It definitely isn't a break. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.